mix, and you can check those out as well as excerpts from other shows at theatlanticcitybeat.com. Right now I have special guests with me. He is a voiceover talent. He was featured in the feature film Legends of Oz, and as a matter of fact, we were the first to tell you that when they showed the Legends of Oz here in the area, he sponsored a contest to send several youth from the area. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pleasantville's own Leonard Dozier. How you doing, sir?
Very good, brother. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know it.
Well, it's always an honor and a pleasure to have you here, and you always have so many great things going on. One of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and move my schedule around to get you here, I was talking to your manager, Rob Williams, and he was saying that you are working with the food bank.
Yeah.
To make contributions to the food bank during the holiday season for people who download your Thanksgiving song. And I immediately told Rob I want in. However I can help, I want to help.
We appreciate it, Raymond. We really do. We really do.
Well, listen, I mean, this time of year, anything we can do, anything I can do to help people. We do the toy drive every year. We take up collections and things for the Covenant House. Food is like the one thing that I don't get involved with. So, you know, if you guys, which Rob always helps me with toys, and I can help you with food, you know, so be it. It's a great thing. All right, so Leonard Dozier, Pleasantville, hometown story. Besides Legends of Oz, what have you been into lately?
Man, it would probably take about 2 hours to tell you.
Well, let's talk about Legends of Oz. That's pretty big.
Right.
You worked with Jim Belushi, Dan Aykroyd,
Kelsey Grammer, Leah Michelle, Oliver Platt, Martin Short, Bernadette Peters. I mean,
Bernadette Peters.
Yeah, okay. Man, it was a star-studded cast. The film didn't do as well as it should have,
right,
considering its $60 million budget.
Right.
So,
right. Well, you got them on Blu-ray and DVD.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You know, and Netflix.
And hopefully they'll make their money back, you know, with the DVD and Blu-ray release. And
well, I'm sure out of $60 million, most of that was not your salary. If so, we're gonna have to increase Rob's
commission,
advertising budget, right? But yeah. So. How did you get that particular spot?
Yeah, Legends of Oz. Interestingly enough, they only had one slot,
okay,
right? So I had to audition against a couple of thousand people.
Okay.
This is across the country, across the world, for that matter.
Right.
And Ray, I must have auditioned maybe I want to say around this time in 2011. Okay. And about 6 months later, I get a call from the PR company in Hollywood.
Okay.
And you know they and it's so funny. This is hilarious, right? So they call me up and they're like, "Congratulations," and I'm like, "Okay," you know. So I'm waiting for for the news, and they said, "Well, you know, you've been cast in such and such," and at the time the movie was had a different title.
Right.
So I'm like, "Such and such what?" I mean, so I think I might have come across like a little bit of a jerk because
you thought it was somebody clowning.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what this is. It's 6 months later, but to make a long story short, 6 months later, got the call. Man, was added to the cast.
Congratulations, you've been cast in Pootie Tang.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm like, but Pootie Tang, what? I mean, what is this?
Okay. All right. Wow, I was already like starstruck, but then when you said Bernadette Peters, I'm a big fan of her Broadway.
Oh yeah,
work and
she was fantastic in the film. She was really good, and she was fantastic.
Wow. Okay, let's fast track a little bit, or fast forward a little bit. Explain to our listeners exactly what's going on, because I just gave them like the Cliff Notes version of what's happening.
Sure.
How is your Thanksgiving song and people downloading that or buying that going to help our local food bank?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there have been thousands upon thousands of Atlantic City workers that are now displaced, And, you know, being from the area, you see that kind of thing, you hear that kind of thing in the news, and it's like, you know, man, that's severe. And it's severe because it hit us at a time when kids are going back to school.
Yeah.
The holidays are upon us. So, you know, these are, you know, it's tough. And as Thanksgiving rolled around, you know, Rob and I were talking about just simply, you know, man, how can I help? Song, a song not really relevant to the cause per se.
Right.
It just so happens that it is, you know, it's quite an inspirational song. And really in the song, I ask everybody, what's on your mind this Thanksgiving? And so, you know, for me, what's on my mind is obviously those that are displaced and struggling, particularly those workers that have been laid off. And thus, we decided that, and we actually partnered with the food bank a couple of years ago when the song was first released. Okay. We didn't really, we didn't put a lot of marketing into the partnership, or really a lot of effort into the partnership. But this year, with this cause, I really wanted to really hit the ground with it and really hit it hard. So we decided that every iTunes download, all the proceeds, all of the proceeds are going to the community food bank to support the AC workers. And now, mind you, the community food bank has to feed. They have to, issue, whether it be funds or, whether it be food funds or any other relief efforts. They have to do that in a way that is voluminous right now, considering the amount of workers that are displaced. So just trying to do my part, man, to say, hey, I recognize what's going on at home, and so hopefully we can achieve that with this campaign.
Yeah, as we talked about behind the scenes, I've actually been doing this a number of years, especially if you count my time with AC Weekly in here. And the reason why I bring that up is because my people at the food bank are quick to remind me that unfortunately a lot of the people who were donators back when I started have now had to come in. People who maybe donated every week when they got paid more food for their family have now had to come back and ask for food from the food bank. So you just never know what type of situation you're going to be in and how the tables can turn.
And I'll tell you, I want to say it was maybe September. Going back to September, I read some article in the press locally, and it might have been the director of the food bank here in South Jersey, and she was talking about the scarcity, the scarcity of food, and obviously with laid off workers and displaced workers. I mean, there was a real concern that they wouldn't have the ability to feed and provide relief. And that was another thing for me that I said, man, that's that hit home. That hits home. So
well, you put the song out there, so the vehicle is there for people who want to do something. If you're in a position to go to iTunes and download the song, the name of the song is "This Thanksgiving" by Leonard Dozier, produced by Michael Downing. I have to say that because we went to school together.
Absolutely, my boy, my long time production partner.
Make sure that you go to iTunes, pay to download that. Don't just do the gypsy, make sure that you pay for the download, because you'll be helping somebody who really needs that.
Yes.
Let me ask you something, just to move on, and we don't have a lot of time because we played the radio version of your song, which is about 8 minutes, 90 seconds with the Sammy Davis interlude in there.
You remember those old cuts, going back to like the 70s and 80s, where the radio singles would be like 7 minutes?
The first 7 minutes would be just like,
right.
But let me ask you this. You're actually doing a lot, not only with voiceovers, but with voiceover classes.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, there's somebody out there who's listening, and I tell you, again, talking about Netflix, recently saw a documentary with, now I can't remember any of the guys' names.
Right.
But the two brothers from the Boondocks were in it.
Okay, yeah.
You know, one is McDowell, the other one is Gary, somebody. Anyway, you teach voiceover classes. So if somebody is at home with a voice that can, knock people out, and maybe they are interested in learning how to do voiceover work, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, actually, I have a registration line. It's 800, actually 888-600-0433. It's an 800 toll-free number. So again, it's 888-600-0433. In fact, I'm flying out to Seattle on Friday. I'm currently on my voiceover workshop tour, and this is the 5th city in the 7 cities on the tour. Basically, voiceovers today, man, I mean, it's nice if you have, this deep, rich voice like I have, or, even a good voice like you have, Raymond. But now, man, the business is so, it's so conversational. They really want just people that can be believable. It's really not so much, you have to have a voice like James Earl Jones, or, it's really not that. I mean, now it's just, you just need a believable voice.
Yeah, and the market is wide open. I mean, Cartoon Network is putting out new things
absolutely
every day, and then it seems like Fox has animation domination.
Absolutely.
So the opportunities are there.
Absolutely.
And that's just cartoons, not to mention
commercials, promos, audiobooks,
documentaries, audiobooks.
Absolutely.
Same old, all of that good stuff. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the AtlanticCityBeat.com right here on 96.1. WTTH Touch. We're here with Leonard Dozier. One more time, we want to tell you, please go to iTunes and download This Thanksgiving by Leonard Dozier. All of the proceeds, 100%, will go to our local community food bank.
Or they can go to my website, which is leonarddozier.com, and you can actually download the song there, and the same applies. Okay,
all right. Anything else you'd like to let the people know about before we let you go? Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm really, really passionate about this campaign. It's also a great song for the holiday. I mean, if you're in the mood for Thanksgiving and all that good food and family and friends, it's a great song. But then finally, Raymond, I just want to say that we need more Thanksgiving carols.
Yeah, tell me about it, right? Yeah. But just today, I was found that I was nominated for a Broadway World Best Actor Award for my role in Fences last year at Open Stage. Thanks, man. So really excited about that. I didn't even know. Friend actually messaged me.
You played Troy?
Played Troy Maxson.
Wow.
Yeah,
James Earl Jones.
Absolutely. So
I would quote some of it, but everything I remember that he said starts with words I can't use on the radio.
Right.
As long as you live in my house, boy, you put a sir on the end of that.
You put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Do I like you? What kind of fool question is that?
Oh, man, you get me started now, boy. That's a great role.
Well, you know me, I love the theater, man. I love the theater. We can go back and forth all day. From Othello to Raisin in the Sun.
Which I'm doing next. I'm actually doing Raisin in the Sun again, believe it or not. But
I'm going to play Walter Lee
Walter Lee again. Can you believe that, man? Some years later now, so I'm curious to see, how a change in age and perspective will contribute to the role this time. So.
That's great. If you'd like to get in contact with Leonard Dozier to take his voiceover workshop, one more time.
Sure. It is 888-600-0433, or just visit my website, leonarddozier.com. Shoot me an email, and we'll definitely let you know when sessions are going. My sessions tend to fill up really fast. I mean, and then that with all of my other work in music, voiceover, and acting. I mean, it's like a real juggling act, man. I'm a real juggler for sure.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for listening. As always, this has been the Atlantic City Beat on 96.1 WTTH The Touch.